It's a very special event, and this event is the great proof of Microsoft doing not only the technical part and supporting you on what you would perceive that Microsoft's main goal in the business, but also to bring you and to connect you to the state-of-the-art leaders in worldwide community. And we never do it alone. We always do it with partners. So I'm very pleased to invite Alen from Israeli Startup Network to give you a few more words about Sramana and her program. So I wish good luck to all the startups who will present today. I'm sure that you will benefit a lot from talking to Sramana and having her input. I'm also sure that everybody in the audience here in the hall and online will also benefit from this great event. So good luck to the presenters and have a great event.
Hi everybody, we're really glad to see you all here tonight for this really unique evening. First of all, we want to thank Microsoft very much for their gracious hospitality and for their generosity in awarding tonight's top 3 companies full scholarships to Sramana Mitra's 1 Million by 1 Million program. Thank you, Microsoft. We'd also like to especially thank Raya and Gilad for their wonderful work in coordinating this event. Thank you both. And thanks to Ken Shostak, co-organizer of Israel Startup Network, for his always thought-provoking advice, or is it provoking advice? Ken, thank you very much. And last but not least, to Donna Abraham, our very own pitch queen, Donna has coached many of our presenters and will act as mistress of ceremonies this evening. And of course, we'd like to thank Sramana for her time and the valuable insights she'll be sharing with us tonight. Just a few words about Sramana and her program. And by the way, I had the great honor and pleasure of meeting Sramana in Silicon Valley a couple of months ago. Sramana is a top strategist, as Ryan mentioned, in Silicon Valley, consulting for some of the largest multinationals. She's also an entrepreneur with 3 successful companies to her credit. She has created a system to help startups around the world based on an incredible curriculum that synthesizes the tribal knowledge of Silicon Valley gathered during interviews with hundreds of successful companies. In addition to the opportunity to study this unique material and to be mentored by Sramana during weekly strategy sessions, when companies are ready, Sramana may also introduce them to potential customers, partners, and investors. Her vision is to enable 1 million startups around the world to be making at least $1 million a year by the year 2020. This program will help level the playing field, overcoming 2 major problems for startups: their lack of experience and their lack of money to pay for the advice they need due to their lack of experience. 1 million by 1 million saves critical time and resources and democratizes management consulting. We totally believe in this program and feel certain that any companies that will diligently engage with the coursework and attend the weekly strategy sessions will significantly shorten and ensure their road to success. Other than medical, biotech, and clean tech companies that are not yet supported by the program, we strongly advise every Israeli startup to participate, whatever their stage. The cost is only $1,000 a year, truly the best deal in town. And now I'd like to hand the mic over to the inimitable Donna Abraham.
Inimitable, it's one of those words that you're not sure. Right. Hi everyone, I'm Donna Abraham. I'm a corporate storyteller means I get to spend a day playing with startups and helping them get their core story together and sound really great telling it here and around the world. And preparing for this event has been quite unique because I realized this is actually a tri-coastal event. We've got the West Coast, the East Coast, and the Middle East Coast. Maureen and Sramana can probably attest to the flurry of emails that have gone back and forth the past few days as we've prepped. And I realized that I'm probably more Israeli than American at this point, even though I split my life between the two places. Because reading something that as a typical Israeli woman, read something that says suggested guidelines, we took that to mean we'll do it our way. So this has been a very this has been a very interesting event for me to help the companies prepare for, because I came in to help them get their story straight, and then Maureen's like, oh, guys, you got to take this down to 6 slides. So we all were kind of scrambling to get the stories together, but the companies did an amazing job putting it together. You've got a real array of 10 very, very interesting companies, some of which I've had the privilege of working with in the past, and some who we just met, but I hope we'll have lasting relationships. So as we say enough about me, let's talk about you guys. I'd love to introduce this first entrepreneur, and it's great to see 2 women here. I hope that this next event will have at least half the group with these wonderful female entrepreneurs. And any of you sitting out there, I encourage you, get in the game. Everybody should be in this. This is an amazing opportunity, and being in Israel, you've got a really amazing playing field for it. So Racheli from Zuz Now will take the stage.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. Good evening, Sramana, Kelly, there somewhere. My name is Racheli Lefkovitz, and I'm business development responsible at Zuz Now. Zuz Now was founded in late 2010 by Han Lefkovitz, which happens to be also my husband, with the vision to enable a one-click adaptation service for smartphone surfing. Like I said, we've been under development for the last 1.5 years, and we started our sales just 4 months ago, acquiring already some 50 customers, paying customers, although we're just a startup. So what's actually the problem that we're facing? Today, the smartphone devices that we all almost own enable us just to surf the web as we use our PCs. But actually, when we come to surf a website, we surf a website that was programmed and made for large screen sizes, and we use it with our small smartphone size. In most cases, we find ourselves zooming in, zooming out, trying to understand where's the right article we try to read, or where's the item we try actually to purchase on an e-commerce website. And we find ourselves very impatient, very fast, going back and not even staying more than 3 seconds on this website. On the other hand, websites who are trying to mobilize their site into mobile find it very hard and very expensive to do it with their resources. What we at Zuz Now do is we actually develop a system that allows a one-click adaptation service for all websites, for all devices. Today we're supporting iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry, and very soon we will be supporting also Windows Phone, thanks to Microsoft here, and tablets. If we can go just 1 slide back so I can, yeah. So what we're doing is actually that we are adapting all of the websites in 1 click, therefore reaching 100% of your surfers, regardless if they directly surf to your website landing on your homepage, or they were generated to it using your SEO efforts through Facebook, Google, or Twitter. We take all these pages into our system, and we enable, not compromising on the look and feel of a website, a smooth and a great UX for every surfer. Next slide, please.
Can you, I have a quick question. Can you explain how it works in terms of where does the solution sit? Do you have to put it on the server, or?
So we are a cloud solution. So actually the whole system goes on our server. So technically it works that the surfer reaches your website, is being detected by us that he's surfing some kind of a smartphone, and being redirected through our proxy. So we're not really building a whole new mobile site, but being a mirror of your original site.
Got it. Okay.
Next slide, please.
Great. So on the right hand, you see the solution of what we usually encounter when we surf the smartphone. And on the left hand, you see our solution, which is very optimized for smartphone, and it was done in only one click and a bit more. Our customers are actually small, medium businesses or enterprises, e-commerce websites, and publishers who want to provide their customers with the best user experience while surfing their website. And we offer them that with this $35 a month starting package. So how are we going to get our customers? We've developed a three-path strategy for that. The first one, which we started at the very beginning, was the offline sales, which actually enable us to come in contact with ad networks, integrators, and web agencies that provide our solution as an upsell of what they're selling to their customers. Just about a month ago, we started selling our services already online, which means you only have to go on our website, susno.com, type your website address and email address, and you get an automated version of your website to your inbox to see if it's appropriate for smartphones. Last but not least, and this is how we're going to get big, we're looking for strategic partners, which are platforms, platform service, or hosting, that will take our service and integrate it into their package and what they're selling their customers. Okay. Next slide, please. Which is actually already the questions for Sramana. Just as a young startup, we want to take over everything, and we find ourselves spreading also everywhere. And we would like to know whether that's the right strategy right now, or should we concentrate on one or more markets? Should we concentrate vertically? Because right now we're supporting all sorts of websites, e-commerce, publishers. We are platform. We do all platforms. We're not doing only WordPress or only other open source templates. So that would be interesting to know if we should focus ourselves. And of course, should we go online or offline? Should we choose between the two, or is it okay that we are trying to get the most of the two at one time?
So as a small company, you will never be able to do all markets. One of the things that I have not heard anything about in your presentation is what is the competitive landscape? Whom are you competing against as you try to penetrate these markets? So one thing that would help you decide and help me help you decide is a matrix of what is your competition doing? What markets are they going after? Where are the gaps? Now, if you go after the enterprise market, the strategy of go-to-market strategy is very different from going after the SME market, right? And the platforms that you would want to integrate with are also very different. The priority of how you go to market is different. Maybe, you know, at some point in your history, you will go after all of those markets. But at the moment, because you don't have a lot of resources, it's critical that you pick a penetration point. So I guess the thing that I would like to see from you next, and this is your homework, is a matrix of your competitive analysis so that we can together position your company with a proper go-to-market strategy where there is the maximum and the fastest success possible. Make sense? So it could be, you know, the answer could be you go after the enterprise market. The answer could be you go after the SME market, this very small business market. That is a market that you can sell by online selling, and you know, software as a service is very good to sell online through online channels. Those are your different options, but I would really like to make that decision based on a good understanding of the competitive landscape. Okay?
Sounds great. Thanks. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, one question. I know it was very needed a few years ago, but still now platforms are moving forward. At least on iPhone, Android, and probably on Windows Mobile, the browsing is much better than it was before. This is number one. Do you think it is still needed? You know, there was others that tried to do the same, like take a normal website and mobilize it, etc. Are you sure that it was a problem? It's still a problem?
The question was, is it still a problem, the smartphone surfing, or that the new platforms enable smooth surfing without needing any optimization. Yeah, with HTML5 and everything. It's the most common question actually that we hear now. Unfortunately for the market, but very not unfortunately for us, it's very much needed. Even using HTML5, you get to see the website, but the question is, what is your user experience while surfing this website? If you're a publisher, then you're probably using advertisements on your website with the hope to gain some money out of it. And the chances that anyone would click on a very small icon of an advertisement is very small. And even more clear for e-commerce, if I want someone to buy something from my page and he has to zoom in and zoom out or move a little bit to scroll from here and there, and at the end also really purchase that item, that probably wouldn't work. We have statistics also today, I don't have it in mind, but the bounce rate is extremely high in unoptimized websites. And I just came back from Germany, Hanover, from CEBIT, and the need is definitely there. It's definitely there, and they, by the way, started programming HTML5 very, very early, but they still understand that this is not the right answer.
I have two questions, and they're connected. So one of them is almost similar to the question regarding the competitive landscape. So I feel it's a very crowded space. The space of mobilizing websites, I feel it's a very crowded space, and the question is, what are the specific assets that you bring to the table that are different than others doing that? Also, if you look at some of the players, they're having a free model for SMBs, but they try to make money out of that in other ways. So, and you're asking $35 today. So you're not going after a big, quick adoption plan with $35 a month. So definitely, for me, it's still a big missing piece. And the second, which is connected to the first one, is I haven't heard much about, other than it's you and your husband, I haven't heard much about the team that's behind that and what's the background. And yeah, it goes back to the asset question. What are the specific assets that you bring?
So maybe I'll start, I should repeat the question again? Okay. So there were two questions. One is about the team, who is working actually at this now, and the other one was that it's being a crowded space, of many companies trying to solve this problem and giving it also for free while we're asking for $35 a month starting, $35 a month. I'll start maybe with the second question. Development is being done by Sam. He's been in Checkpoint for 6 years, being as a manager there, managing 8 to 10 people projects, comes from a background of security, which brings us to the second question of what is our asset. I think that developing this program came from a whole different aspect. Most of the other solutions that we see came from people who engaged themselves with the web from early days, and I think that the solution that we provide, the algorithm that we actually developed, brought to a whole other solution. And in regarding to what we do different or better than the other competitors, there are two things that we stress the most. The one of them is the look and feel of a website. So we're not taking any platform and inject your contact inside of it like our competitors do. That's the one thing, because we understood that people invest so much time and money in creating the right design for their homepage or for their website. And then at the end, when they go mobile, they have to give it all up just for some kind of a platform that may be okay for very, very small websites, not even businesses. It's if you look at the long tail. And this is why also this is not our target group. So that's the first thing. The second thing, and that will be probably the end, is the fact that we are able to, because we adapt the whole website and making sure that all traffic from Facebook, Google, Twitter, make sure that would get an optimized version of the website. That's our number one advantage, and you are more than welcome to fight with our competitors because it doesn't work.
Okay, round of applause. Good job.
Okay. Sramana, hi. Before we continue, could you adjust your mic a little bit? We're having some trouble hearing you. You did it before in the testing. Your mic, so we can hear you better. Your microphone?
You're talking to me?
A little bit. Yes, I am.
Can you hear me now?
Your mic, yeah, just adjust your microphone a little bit.
Is that better?
Is that better? Yes, much better. Yay. Now we can actually hear you. Fabulous. So before we continue, I'd like to send a special hello to a volunteer from the Marker. Round of applause for the Marker for being here and covering this very important event for us. May I raise your hand? Say hello. Oh, hi. Hello. And also, I got so excited about introducing the startups that I forgot to introduce our illustrious judges. See, even the pitch queen can de-pitch herself sometimes. So first of all, you met the lovely Raya, so give her a round of applause. So Raya is the BizDev manager and ISV group leader here at Microsoft. More than 20 years of experience in large corporations. And in the last 15 years, BizDev with startups in Israel and in Europe. And she leads the relationships with the entrepreneurs and startups in Microsoft Israel, and their team just does amazing things for this community. So thank you, Raya. Moving on, we've got Zaki Weisfeld, who gets a big Mazal Tov as well, beside of baby. Mazal Tov. And then he's here with us, so that's wonderful. And he's the Senior Director of BizDev and Strategy at the R&D Center in Herzliya, here in Israel. Extensive experience in large companies and startups, and he leads the relationship with the startup community and the Microsoft R&D Center. And watch for him. There'll be some very interesting announcements coming from him in the next few days. Exciting stuff happening at Microsoft. So startups, keep your ears peeled. And next to him, we have Ken Shosak, who is Arlene's partner in crime. And, sorry, my notes on this. That's missing. In the beginning. At the beginning. There you go. There you go. So Ken, a co-organizer of Israel Startup Network. In the second half of last year, he was involved in 2 exits and 2 fundings, fabulous, and 1 M&A exit. He's currently the founding partner of one of the companies he actually helped to finance. And he's taught entrepreneurship in the Technion MBA program and the Zell program at IDC. Round of applause for Ken. And last but not least, Nimrod Schwartz, who's the founding CTO and VP of BizDev at NetVision. 12 years, he was a VP at Cedar and Stage 1, and he's currently a Senior VP of Strategy, Investment, and M&A at a company operating on 5 different continents and seeking to acquire companies dealing with smart city technologies. So all of you guys out there dealing with smart city technologies, see Nimrod at the end, he will be having office hours. Great. So moving on, we tried to mix it up a little bit. So moving from the realm of mobile, we're now delving deep into tech for IT. So I'd like to invite Kafir Lahav of IT Analyzer, otherwise known as ITAS, to take the stage. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. And I apologize for my Israeli accent. So I'm coming from a worldwide international sales, and IT Analyzer started in 2007. It took us many years to do development for IT infrastructure because we're working on a core IT solution and not application on internet. It's usually much easier. And we, as a bootstrap company, we started in a patent pending status. We have 1 year sales status. We have 9 paying customers in Israel that you see later, enterprise customers. Our partner is NES, RAN, EMC, and HP. And our cloud and soft ready. Next slide. And the problem that we are engaging. The big problem today with the data center infrastructure is to know what's going on, because all the vendor of whether it's storage, backup, server, physical, virtual, SAN environment can give you a very good information, very good visual about what's going on in their equipment, and their storage, and their switch, and their server, but nobody of them is trying to give you overall information. And this is the big, big problem for IT managers, to know how to manage their IT infrastructure. And this is the point that IT Analyzer is coming to solve and give you a clear solution end-to-end in order to give you a clear picture of your IT infrastructure. Next slide. And this is exactly what we are doing. We are, and Gartner and Forrester, SCKI talking with us, the first end-to-end solution that's giving you a clear, crystal clear information about the IT infrastructure status, meaning if the storage, EMC, HP, Hitachi, Cisco, whatever, giving you any kind of information about your about their equipment, it's very good, it's amazing, but it doesn't correlate with the other equipment and devices. When IT analyzers do full infrastructure self-discover and multi-dimensional cross-platform, cross-vendor, cross-domain analytics information that we develop, we are giving you a much clear and different information about what's going on. And when we can give you that you see very nice snapshots about what is the real data, what is the real status, we are doing completely and giving you amazing information about what's going on and how to build and do very big optimization of your data center infrastructure. Next slide. Before we go to the case study, we are, as you can see, we have not a niche solution, we are a data center IT infrastructure solution, meaning we have customers from industrial, from telecom, from internet and media, from finance. It doesn't matter what kind of interest, what kind of vertical segment you are. If you have a data center, IT analyzer can help you realize what's going on and how to solve it, and how to be more efficient, more accurate, and more optimized. And optimized meaning a lot of money back. And this is the case study of telephone in Israel. If you get one click down, please. Okay. So in the end, with this telephone, 1 day after implementation, and if you can see ROI, why? We are not giving ROI in about 2-3 years return of investment. We can give you immediately return of investment on yesterday's devices and yesterday purchases. Meaning a day after implementation, we give back to telecom $1 million of money on the floor, devices that are connected, that they bought for the last 3-5 years, and nobody know how to use them. Because nobody can, none of the vendors want to tell you that this storage is free, this backup is free, this private channel port is available, private channel HDA available, backup optimization. None of the vendors on a vertical solution want or can give you the information. This is available for you as a customer. So that's exactly what we're doing in a telephone and others. $1 million back is the money back guarantee that we can give 15 to 20% purchases back to the organization. And last slide, the question for Sramana. Because we just started 1 year sales in Israel, and we do think to go to Europe and then to US market, what is your key point when addressing the US market? Taking into consider that ITAB is a software enterprise solution, what is your stand about license versus SaaS? Of course, we can actually now selling on both, we can do as license and we can sell as SaaS. And what is your stand on cloud ability? Again, taking into consider that enterprise software, usually customers don't like to share the information over the cloud.
So let me start with your first question. What is the U.S. market penetration issue? Now, enterprise sales channel to sell into the U.S. market is a fairly expensive affair. So the best, most successful ways to sell into the enterprise market is through channel partners. There are a whole host of them who sell into the data center market and have channels into the data center market. That would be probably my number one suggestion to you in working with them. And it sounds like you have several customers and metrics and case studies and so forth. Those would be very important in closing those, channel deals, so to speak. So, and if you can create similar case studies in the U.S. market, by the early selling, it helps to expand into the larger channel opportunity, channel sales opportunity in the U.S. Secondly, a question about license versus SaaS. Now, in general, right now in the U.S. business or in the business in IT sales in general, SaaS is a more popular business model than license. Having said that, we're going to have to take your technology into the channel and see how the channel wants to work with you. And your channel could be multiple different players. If your channel are the data center vendors, and we have relationships with data center vendors, we can discuss this with them. It will depend on what business model you come up with in partnership with your channel partner as the end user, end customer go-to-market strategy. So maybe SaaS is the end customer go-to-market strategy, but the channel may be a license strategy. So all that needs to be sorted out in conjunction with your partners, based on the go-to-market strategy. I don't understand this question about cloud ability. What do you mean by cloud ability?
We see a lot of solutions go cloud today and asking the customer to do some download of agents and non-agent solutions. So in software enterprise, is it something to take into consider, or this is something that we can look for after it to a more simple solution?
First, I can't hear you very well, and I'm not sure I'm understanding your question. But again, I think the methodology that I'm going to recommend to you over and over again, by the way, this is true for all the presenters and all the entrepreneurs in the room. Our methodology is very much driven by customers and channel partners, the ones with which and through which you're going to be going to market. So if it's a delivery model question, I think the question you're asking here is a delivery model question. And that delivery model needs to be validated with customers as well. What is the customer's reaction to your assumptions as far as delivery model, business model, pricing model, all of those? That's our driving principle. Does that answer your question?
Yes. Thanks.
Okay. Any questions from the judges? Okay, round of applause. Thank you very much. And thank you, Sramana, for that. So starting off with mobile, moving into IT, and now we go into actual entertainment and what do you do with your free time when you're not working. So we have a unique company called Evento, and we have Ophir Sojok who will be presenting for them. Come on up, Ophir.
Thank you, Dana. Very much. Good evening, everybody. Good morning, Sramana.
Hello.
How are you? I would like first to thank you for the opportunity to present our company here, to present Evento. My name is Ophir Sojok, and I have this bizarre combination of a strong commercial background in big IT companies and event organization. In the last 5 years, I arranged over 100 sports events on a European level for UEFA, European Football Association, Champions League, Europa League matches. I'm here with my business partner, co-founder, Harel Shemer. Harel has over 18 years of experience in developing and actually building software development teams and bring them to success. And this is what he's doing now also with Evento. We are here to present Evento. Evento is launched with the aim of becoming a world-leading end-to-end platform provider from event promotion to ticket purchasing over social media. Next slide, please. As a person who comes from the industry, I know that there is a big challenge, and the biggest challenge there is to sell tickets. Everybody thinks that most of the events are sold out, but the fact is not. 40% of the tickets going unsold. The biggest problem here is that not the unsold tickets, the unsold tickets, but one of the problems here is that 60% of the people who would like to purchase tickets to certain events do not know about this event. And this is the problem, that the event doesn't have enough exposure, basically, that people can purchase tickets with. One of the ways that we solve this problem, and this is what we are trying to offer, is basically let's look at the event life cycle. Of course, as you know, The event doesn't start when you are actually getting into the venue, sit on your seat. The event starts way ahead of it. As an event organizer, I know that the event starts when you actually start thinking about implementing this event, to produce this event. As a customer, the person who would like to purchase tickets to this event, the event starts when you are thinking about attending this event. And there are a set of activities that you would like to do to know before you are attending this event. For example, which one of my friends is attending this event, where did they sit, whether we can join them. Sorry? Oh, sorry. Whether they can, basically, how they can get to this event. And then there's the event day where the event organizer would like basically to enhance the fans' experience. And the person attending this event, I would like to find different doing different kind of activities on the event day. And the event is finished a couple of days after the event itself, when basically I'm uploading my pictures to the web, tagging themselves, putting videos. So what we actually identified is that social media is the best platform actually to support all these activities and to give your event the best exposure. The problem is that there's no such a platform to support all these activities. Next slide, please. So this is what we are actually trying to solve. We are developing a socially smart platform with monetization capabilities. We are doing an integration to the ticketing system of the event organizer. Event organizers are very conservative. They don't want to change their ticketing system. So we do a full integration to their ticketing system, import all the relevant information into our management system, and by a couple of clicks, the event organizer actually can create a Facebook event. Not only creating this event, but also be able to sell tickets over Facebook. And selling tickets over Facebook is easy. Basically, selling tickets over Facebook, it's not that easy. Thank you. You have to do it in a socially smart way. For example, we let the participants to see where the friends are sitting in the event. They can purchase a ticket beside a friend, basically reserve a seat beside them, and doing other activities around it. And we also have the promotion application. In the promotion application, basically we're making the event more viral. We give the event organizer to have more publicity over the social network. With this platform, basically what we are able to do is to increase the revenue of the event organizer and reduce the advertising costs and make the social outreach much, much easier. Our customers are the event producers, could be sports teams, theaters, musicals, venues, different kinds of venues. The end users are the customer within the social outreach. Our go-to-market strategy is basically approaching the ticketing system provider and ticketing agencies, and with them offer them a cooperation on a revenue share basis and approaching the event producers. Business model is very simple. Basically, we charge a set of fee plus success fee per transaction. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Customer validation. In December 2010, we approached Maccabi Haifa Football Club, one of the leading sports clubs in Israel, and we offered them to put our platform on their Facebook fan page. We asked their season ticket holders to mark themselves on the seats. And what we saw is a huge phenomenon. The season ticket holders came in, marked themselves on the stand, and basically they fill in the stand afterwards. Then we actually sold our tickets over Facebook, and we managed to reach 15% of the online transactions on Evento's platform. Needless to say, Maccabi Haifa became one of our customers. Thank you very much. Okay, questions to Sramana? Sramana, sorry? Sramana. Okay, thank you. First of all, it's, we are an early stage startup. We are looking for investors. We're meeting a couple of them. Each investor has a different idea, and each one of them basically asks us to present a different business model. What is your opinion on that? The second question is, what are the risks of accepting an investment from a company in the industry? Okay, because there are some companies in the industry that see our platform very advanced. really socially smart, and kind of looking into investing in our company. The third question is very similar to what my previous colleague asked, is about the American market. Okay, I personally have very strong connections in Europe, but the American market is kind of very hard for us to find our way in. So what is the best way, again, to get into the American market?
Okay. So first and foremost, like I said in the previous presenter, the driver for whether it's business model or pricing model or delivery model, usage model, everything should be customers, not investors. You can assume a thumb rule that investors don't know anything. They're guessing, right? The people who really know where the rubber meets the road is where the customers who are going to sign the checks. So your driving input in your business model, in your pricing model, everything needs to be customers. Now, I picked up something as I was listening to you, is that you have very deep domain knowledge in sports events marketing in particular. Is that correct?
Sure. Yeah,
so
that is correct.
My suggestion to you would be to make that your early penetration segment, because it's a segment that you understand well, because you'll see if you try to do sports events and culture events and theater and musicals, they're very different markets at some level. And the dynamics of how those markets market themselves, or the word of mouth spreads, are actually different. So my sense, just listening to you, and because you have an unfair advantage in the sports market, I would suggest that you start from that market and focus on that market as your early penetration point. Now, as far as you're accepting investment from another company in the industry, it depends on which company and what are the dynamics of the transaction. They may have good domain knowledge and may be interested in investing, and that's a good news. I don't see a problem particularly with accepting investment from corporate partners. Having said that, if that is also your ultimate acquisition path, then if you give too much of the control and knowledge up front, and you're going to want to bring in investors downstream who would want to maximize valuation, you're going to put yourself in a slightly awkward position, because somebody who's an insider is also negotiating for both the maximum valuation and the minimum valuation, and that's a very awkward negotiation. That's the downside. On the other hand, if they give you access to their channels, and if there are other strategic leverage, strategic levers that they can help you push to accelerate your growth, I'm actually in favor of strategic investments. Now, as far as American companies are concerned, penetrating the American market, again, it depends on what is the size of the business that you're going after. If you have to penetrate the sports market, what is the sales cycle in penetrating the sports events market in America? Do you have to sell to the NBA or whatever are the big sporting authorities? Are you going to have to sell small deals to the different venues? How does the business flow? What is the ecosystem, and what is the sales cycle of the ecosystem? Those will determine exactly how you're going to go to market. I can work with you further on parsing that. If you're going to sell to small, consumers, not consumers, small customers, small businesses, small organizers, that is actually not so difficult for non-American companies selling into the American market, because most of that marketing is online marketing. So in developing your go-to-market strategy, especially for non-American businesses trying to come into America, if you can craft a go-to-market strategies that is largely online marketing, that plays to your advantage. A physical presence in America actually does not hinder, because it's the exact same process and exact same methodology, whether you market from America or market from Timbuktu. It doesn't matter.
Thank you very much.
Any questions from judges? We have time for one question. Yes.
I believe there was at least one other company in Israel, actually, the people were at your firm, that was selling to the UEFA market, selling tickets to the UEFA members in Europe.
You're talking about Sports 365.
Very good.
Exactly. It's a different business. Basically, we are promoting events on behalf of the event organizers. This company is basically selling tickets as a secondary market. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, so many of my clients and of the companies we see here are really harnessing the power of social, as we just saw now with Ophir. And the next company is also able to take social to another level, only a very different market segment right now, the people who are actually in charge of marketing. So I'd like to introduce Social Lasso, Nir Cohen.
Howdy, folks. My name is Nir Cohen, and I'm a co-founder in Social Lasso. I have more than 20 years in marketing, doing some business development and product marketing for large companies and small ones. Next slide, please. And in the new marketing world, social media is a very essential tool. Marketers are using social media to acquire customers and create leads. And you can see from the graph that the success of this trend is pretty much significant. However, in order to achieve these tasks of acquiring customers and creating leads, marketers need to go through millions of tweets a day or going through endless number of jobs and posts in order to find out which one is relevant for them and which one requires their attention and engagement. So it's beyond someone, a human being, ability to process such amount of information, and therefore an automatic tool is required in order to do so. And make no mistake, this is not a small market. We are talking about, according to Forrester, for more than $3 billion in 2014, with a growth average of above 34%. Next slide, please. So what are we offering? We have a tool that can take this entire information and convert it into a very structured list where the most important information, the most important conversation is at the top, and going all the way down to the less important information. The other task that our tool can enable is to create recommendations for marketers of where to do and what to do in their daily life. That means, for example, if they need to find which is the important discussion group in their specific ecosystem, or who is the most influential person in their industry, or where is the most active blog. Social Lasso is doing that by actually discovering the structure of an ecosystem behind the scenes and actually pulling down all these conversations and recommendations as a result of this structure. This saves a lot of time and money for marketers and allow them to make their job much more efficient and much more reliable. Next slide, please. So who are what is the target market for us? We are talking about marketers that are selling directly, that are working directly with social media. Sometimes the marketers working through agencies. There are advertisers and other people that are involved. Our penetration to the market is going to be through first a freemium with the basic functionalities, viral and advertising in order to promote it through the web, and then we will have a service for marketers and their agencies. We are also going to integrate our solution into OEM and create, together with the marketing platforms and marketing automation tools, a much more efficient solution for marketeers. Next slide, please. We validated our solution in several ways. The first one is going through Israeli companies, and you can see the statement below. It's the best ever conversion numbers we had using our idea. The next one is, of course, we went to meet industry leaders and technology partners, and they all, you can see their comments below. Next slide, please. So in summary, marketeers can now meet their social media challenges using our platform. They can save time and money, and they actually read only the information they need and they decide what to do with it. They can get a list of recommendations. They can track their ecosystem dynamics and see how it changes along the time. And of course, they have ability to focus on their target campaign. Thank you very much.
I don't see questions from you on the slides, but I'm going to just give you some feedback. If you go back to your business model slide, there is too much on this slide. Your target model is B2B and B2C marketed. It's small and medium companies. It's large enterprises through third party. As a small company, you can't do that much. It is just not viable to be able to do that much. So you have to pick one segment to penetrate the market. And this is, again, guys, everybody in the room, whether you are presenting today, not presenting today, please mark segmentation as one of your key action items. We emphasize very heavily on segmentation as a marketing tool, and since you're a marketeer, Nir, you absolutely need to pay attention to that vital marketing tool and put some real precision around your go-to-market strategy. So if you look at all these different target market elements that you've outlined here, which one seems like the one where you can add the maximum value? Is it B2C marketeers? Is that where there are more conversations? Is it enterprise customers, large enterprises doing B2C marketing, or mid-sized companies doing B2C marketing? Characterize the segment much more precisely, and then the rest of the go-to-market strategy will emerge out of that decision. But that segmentation decision is crucial, and you have not made a segmentation decision yet. That's your number one homework.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Sramana. And second from the judges.
One question. By mistake, I was going over the segment for the last 6 months, so non-Israeli company, at least, but I wouldn't say crowded, I would call it overcrowded.
Extremely overcrowded.
Booming.
An extremely overcrowded market.
You're absolutely correct.
You have some very unique tricks that you can play. You're bumping into something that could be about 400 companies already. Each one of them is,
You're absolutely correct, and the correct number is 600 as we done. Yes, and it's counting. Okay. Yes, and you're absolutely correct. It's a very crowded market. The common to all these 600 companies is that they're trying to analyze the facts in a specific way. They have natural language processing and all kinds of techniques. At the moment, they kind of reached a certain maturity on that solution. However, the results for common monitoring and listening platforms today is very low. The success rate of getting the right conversations and the right information into them, it's about 1%, or even lower than 1%. So you have to read 100 conversations to get one for real. Our solution is completely different. We are not analyzing the facts. As I mentioned, we are building the structure of the ecosystem behind the scenes, and based on the ecosystem structure, we are analyzing the conversation, and therefore we hope to reach a much, much higher separate, and that would be a complete different level of solution.
Okay, thank you, Neil. Okay, so we're going to hear from our last company for a short break with some very exciting entertainment. That would be me. So again, moving back into the tech realm, and I realized since I've been working with startups that I speak 3 languages fluently: Hebrew, English, and Technique. So I always tell people, if I can tell your story and I'm not an engineer, then you're in a good place. You've explained it well enough to me. And it was great meeting with Yoni and seeing someone who's got a very technical product that is very clear, very understandable, and I hope you'll agree. So, Sramana, Yoni Avika.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Sramana. I hope it's okay.
Very good. First one.
Thanks. My name is Yoni Avital. I'm the CDO of Smartest. We were founded in 2009. We're a team of 10 IT guys, as we like to call us. And today we're going to speak about virtual desktops and how to manage them. Next slide, please. Right. Okay, so basically I'm going to do a bit of an introduction about the background and the pain we're trying to solve at Smartest. What you're seeing in the upper side of the slide is how things were at medium and large enterprises during the last year. So basically we have a data center. We can know traditional data center objects like servers, databases, storage, etc. On the other side, we have the physical endpoints where the actual end users are running their Windows applications, the Office, the ERP, the CRM, etc. What we're seeing in the last couple of years, we're seeing many customers adopting and migrating to virtual Windows endpoints. They're taking the endpoints from the physical devices and moving and migrating them into the data center. That we have a whole new infrastructure in the data center which is used to run Windows endpoints, and of course through them run the business and critical applications. Now you're all familiar with the names of the traditional management tools, and obviously the traditional management tools are focusing on traditional data center components, servers, databases, etc. So what we have found at Smartest is that this new infrastructure is a huge gap with products who are actually able to manage the virtual desktop, and that's the problem we're trying to solve. Next slide, please. So introducing Controller. This is our flagship product, best-of-breed management platform for virtual desktop and server-based computing environment. So trying to be not so technical, as I just said, think about your task manager in Windows. Now imagine you can see your task manager in a single pane to your whole virtual desktop environment. So think about seeing in a single glass of pane thousands of virtual desktops, seeing the processes they use around, the applications, which users are running on them, how many resources are consuming right now, and you can actually drill down and sort and zoom in not only to the process level, but also to the specific application screen level. Okay, so now besides real-time monitoring, we also give many management functionalities. We have a huge library of actions, day-to-day actions that sysadmins and technical guys need when they manage this environment. So think about deploying the file, or changing a registry key, or stopping the service. Now, in the old world, you can do it to a simple physical machine. Now you have thousands of machines, all of them are on your corporate data center, and you have to manage them with a single resource. And that's exactly what we're enabling via our Controller management platform. Next slide, please. Right, validation. So back in September, we launched Controller via the internet. I have to say the results were quite astounding. We're seeing more than 2,000 corporate customers in the US, in Western Europe, and also in emerging markets, downloading and registering for Controller. And the good news are that more than 500 of them are what we call an active customers, meaning that each day they open the console and manage thousands of virtual machines, thousands of virtual Windows operating systems. This is a good time to mention that with Citrix, shows Controller to be the official management tool for the Citrix Ready virtual lab. So if you're a partner of Citrix and you want to test your product, the product you will use to manage your Citrix virtual lab will be Controller. Next slide, please. Right, so business model go-to-market. Basically, we have done quite a few sales in Israel. We have more than 20 enterprises who already purchased the product. So far, in our product via the website is a freeware.
We are planning to switch to a paid version actually during this month. What we've done with Control is basically we've put a lot of effort to making sure the product will fit the actual business model. So first thing, our entire backend infrastructure is SaaS-based, meaning that when the customer is downloading the product and wants to deploy it, he only has to download a single executable, launch it, and select the computers he would like to manage. There is no servers in this process, no databases to complete. In like 5 minutes, literally 5 minutes, you can go ahead and deploy your solution to the entire virtual desktop infrastructure. One other point I would like to mention is since it's an online product, we're actually building our CRM on the fly. So each customer who is downloading and using a product goes directly to our CRM databases with insightful information about how much time he's using the product, how many endpoints he's managing, and of course this generates excellent leads to our sales team. Next slide. This is for you, Sramana. Yeah. So basically, as I mentioned, we are planning to switch from a freeware to a paid model really soon. And one thing we're seeing is that our customers are divided between small organizations, like up to 100 virtual endpoints, and up to really large organizations who manage thousands of endpoints simultaneously. And the question is, again, since we're aiming at a low-touch model based via the internet, how do we cater for these different organizations? How do we take, the meet the same value and don't leave any money on the table? Another question that we're asking is, yeah, sorry.
I would like to understand that the pool of free users that you have created, and you have very good ways of tracking that's already built into the system. What have you learned about the demographics of that pool of leads? How many are small organizations? What are the different sizes of organizations? How much usage are you seeing, in their behavior pattern? And then I want you to identify the ones that are really heavy-duty users and characterize them. Try to understand what kinds of companies are those, and the answers to your questions are going to come out of that. So I would really like to, spend some time with you really understanding what's in that pool of users that you've generated thousands of users, which is not an easy thing to do. You've already done that. So now let's take advantage of that pool of feedback, market feedback that you've come with, and we're going to make the rest of the decisions on the go-to-market strategy using that feedback. Yes?
Analyze the data. Okay.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, so one last question. I know you guys are waiting for the break, me too. So let's say we have started and we actually we're able to scale via the low touch or even no touch sales model. How do we, next year when we launch a bigger version, how will we do that migration from like a first level a product to sell it with higher value to the same customer? The next year we are actually
the upsell process. So we have I'm going to talk to you later in the session today about some of the methodologies that we teach in 1 million by 1 million. We have a whole methodology called Sales 2.0 that we teach on exactly that. It's kind of like a 9-step sales process of how you go from setting up the pilots and then doing the upselling and cross-selling and so forth. So there are methods of doing that, and you need to set up a process, especially with your kind of business where there are going to be lots of pilots that you're going to have to manage, and then you're going to have to zero in on which ones are going into larger deal sizes and so forth. You have to set up a full process, full sales process, and there are very, very specific mechanics of doing that. We will be happy to
teach that.
Any questions from the judges? Yes, Ken.
You talked about your team being 10 IT guys. Do you have any people in marketing or sales or business?
Oh yeah. They are technical though. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, we have like 5 developers, including the manager and those guys. Yeah, we have a guy for marketing guys. So he's focusing on how to market, how to generate the leads, how to interact with the community, and definitely in the end how to actually sell the product via the website. Yeah.
How many people? 10, including 5 are just, you mentioned the IT people.
Yeah. So I'm the IT. Yeah. I have one other guy who's helping me with.
response are usually driven by, Microsoft and others, VMware and others. Citrix, yeah. And most of them sell you or try to sell you a very robust management console as well.
That's right.
And it's not like you have 10 different vendors of virtual desktops. There are like three
large ones. That's right.
So now you can say, okay, I manage all three of them, I'm better. But if a normal company selects one solution from
the normal scenario,
the common scenario, then what are you going to offer other than being cheaper?
Okay, so good question. What we've seen is that so the question was, so let's say I already chose a virtual desktop solution. I already have a robust management tool included in this solution. So what is your proposal? So what we've seen is that the major vendors, Citrix, VMware, and Microsoft, they are in a huge competition right now. This is like bursting the cloud, private cloud, etc. And they're really focusing on core technologies, the protocol, how many users you can cram into a single box, etc. They've kind of left behind the management part. And it's been the same way for the last 10 years, by the way. And we're seeing it, and we're seeing that the gap it's not diminishing, it's getting bigger. And we're seeing the customers saying, we've seen some guys entering the blog with Citrix, buy this company. Put it in, we want it inside your product. So, that's.
You can also, I think, part of the strategy can also, based on segmentation, which segment are your competitors going after versus which segment is more open, which is looking for a solution. You can always go into that segment, differentiate on the basis of pricing model, segmentation. There are many ways of penetrating markets, even if there are dominant competition.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you very much, Tony. Okay, so just want to let you guys know that once the companies have presented, Sramana will be talking a bit about her program, so stick around. This is a great asset to be able to hear about, and she'll explain to you how each of you, even in addition to the winner, will be able to be part of this. So hang around for that. So Sramana, I apologize. My slides, and there's two of them for my break, are not on your deck, but I'll try to communicate it even without you seeing the visuals.
No problem.
So this, in the work that I do, I'm kind of reminded sometimes about really bad salespeople. What is the worst kind of salespeople that we encounter? Insurance. What makes them absolutely insufferable? They won't listen, okay? And what else? What do? They try to sell, which is their job, but in what manner? Push, push, push. Okay. Now, who are the people that you end up actually buying from? Okay, they're nice, and what else? What do they get in touch with? Our needs. Our needs. How about that? So, where does that tie into us? Well, leading into that, and by the way, this is a little bit out of a speech that I give called Pitch Perfect, Top 10 Tips for a 10-minute pitch. Tonight, we're going to maybe do two. Right now, we're going to do one, maybe towards the end of the evening. If the judges haven't made up their mind in time, I'll give you another one tip. But this is the number one thing that I want all of you to take away with you. And if you see my speech before, don't answer this. But just across the industry, whether it's chocolate chips, potato chips, or silicon chips, I've really seen people struggle with this, whether they're sales and marketing, and whether they're IT guys or anyone else. So, across the globe, tell me, in a suspense film, good action film, what is the vital ingredient that without it, it's just some kind of a sassy drama? And if you've seen the speech before, don't give it away. What's the vital ingredient? Just shout it out. Sramana, you're welcome as well to set up. What makes it a thriller? Nobody has time to watch movies in the entrepreneurial community, right? I hear all downloading and calling a bunch of hackers. Excitement, surprise, but what's behind that? Mystery. Who generates that? The conflict. And who's behind the conflict? Who said that? The villain. That is correct. So can you imagine, instead of having this figure, and Sramana, we have a picture of Darth Vader up on the screen now, instead of hearing Luke, you'd hear something like, come to Papa, my boy. Or instead of hearing a hello, Clary, You would hear something like, "How you doing, Clarice? Looking good, baby." Or instead of Jaws, we had Nemo. How big would the conflict in those films have been? Not so big, right? So the first 30 seconds of the movie, minute, 2 minutes, we usually meet the villain. And this is what so often is missing in sales. And guys, if you don't realize it, everybody sitting in this room that's an entrepreneur is also a salesman, saleswoman. We have it built into us. We are always selling. I know we don't like to think of it that way because it's kind of a sleazy, skeezy sounding thing. But to survive, we need to be able to sell. So the first thing I want you guys to do when you think about your pitch is not pushing your solution, your product, your service. Rather, what is the need that has still not been met? Now, I know that sounds trivial, but time and time again, I meet with people, and the first thing they start telling me, "Oh, we have all these pictures, we have products, and these great things," and I'm like, I don't care. What's in it for me as the end user? Why should I listen? So let's just take a quick look at how we can make them feel the pain, at a few examples of some villains. Bad economy is a villain that, unfortunately, in the past few years, we've had to be dealing with. So who has made a killing off of the fact that the bad economy was their villain? What kind of companies? Groupon. Now, Sramana, in Israel, 5-6 years ago, the idea of a coupon was completely foreign. We've got, macho military guys. They would not be marching with a piece of paper up to a store saying, "This is what I'm paying for." It's not. I grew up in the States, and we have coupons every Sunday in the paper. But the villain to the businesses for this was what?
There's another trend going on, Donna.
Yeah.
The virtual sharing trend going on. So there's for instance, I don't remember the name of the company, but I've seen this concept where mothers with new babies, after the baby, let's say 3 months later, the baby has outgrown the clothes, puts it on a website for other mothers with 3 months or lower age babies to rent those costumes, those clothes from.
Right. Probably several years ago, that would never have washed. Maybe we'd hand things down to our friends, neighbors, family, but not in a way like that. So just look at how the villain affects people's buying and the way people respond to things. So starting off addressing that is where you want to go. Changing demographics. So we probably who's dealing with gaming in this room? Raise your hand. All right. So what is the major social gaming demographic happening now? Huh? No, not the game. The demographic of people playing these social games. Women, what age?
Middle age.
Between 35 and 42. Can you imagine that? And seriously, these are oftentimes women that never played solitaire before, but there's something about that. And who would be affected if they weren't doing the right segmentation? Yes, their kids too. But who does this matter to? Who's the villain for? Advertisers. If we can't target to the right advertisers, we're losing a lot of money. So there's a villain for anybody doing some kind of ad analytics solution, which we see a lot of those around as well. Waste in the system is often clean tech. So anybody in here working on a clean tech solution? Ken, what's the company you're working with on clean tech? No, we can't say. But I heard a great presentation with villain. Siemens is a client of mine, and I was getting a workshop there a couple months ago, and they had just closed the first contract on solar energy fields down in the desert, in the Arava desert. And their billing was beautiful. They said, so for years we've been looking down for energy solutions, coal, fuel, gas. These are all solutions that are expensive, that are harmful to the environment, and politically difficult in this side of the world. Guys, look up. Yeah, we live in a country where there's sunshine pretty much about 340 days a year. And this year is a little bit less. We've had a tough winter. But the villain is this missed opportunity of this waste, of this amazing resource that we have. Why are we not fueling, energizing more cities with this? And now we have the capability to do it. See how your listening is different than if we were to say, oh, we're going to power your city with solar solutions, and this is going to be so great and wonderful. And finally, the last two are what I call the friendly villains. These are the villain is missing out on these. If I was told any of you 7 years ago that you would be part of a cult where you would share very publicly private details about your life, pictures, and also delve into the details down to the what color underwear they're wearing of people that you know or don't know, you probably all would look at me as if I was on something. But how many people in this room are not on Facebook? Okay, come on, 3 people have just hesitantly raised their hands. So Facebook is not just social anymore, it's about being there. It's about brands. You Google Coca-Cola or Britney Spears today, you don't reach a destination site. You reach a social site. So if we're missing out on that and we're not there, and again, missing a great opportunity is the same thing. It's the money on the floor. And we've heard this today with iPads, where there's all these resources that are not being tapped into. So the bottom line, and I'll wrap up with this and we'll go on to the next company, is I want you guys, when you present to whether it's an investor or a strategic partner or a customer, I want them to either be squirming uncomfortably in their seat because they're feeling the pain of that villain, or I want them pointing at you, bobbing their head saying, amen, hallelujah, I want what he's having, let me download it now, go forward and prosper. Thank you very much. Okay, so Sramana, we didn't take an actual break because I don't know if you know this, Israelis, you give them a 10-minute break to go have coffee. That turns into about 48 minutes. So we would have never been back here in time. No problem. Okay.
Right back into the picture now, Donna?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can. All right, so our next company actually is a very interesting focal point of the market. Very different than what we've heard so far. So let me introduce KidCash, and presenting we have Erez Mizrahi.
Good evening, everyone. Good morning, Sramana.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good evening, actually, for you.
Sorry?
Good evening to you.
Good evening. So I heard somebody mention kids over here. How many in the crowd have kids? Okay. How many of you have ever been approached by your kids to purchase any games or virtual worlds online? Cool. Not bad. Okay. So as you know, kids spend more. Well, I hope I'm not. Kids spend more and more time online today. They spend more money online today. And they get younger and younger all the time. As young as even 5 years old when it comes to spending. So what I've come to actually present is a thing that we found in my previous 3 years. I've been dealing with kids from a toy company, a large toy company. I've had the privilege to meet lots of large brands like Disney and others like them. They've done amazingly approaching kids online. But what I found is that when it came to purchasing on those sites, Sramana, can we see the next slide, please? Yep. Okay, let's go to the previous. This is slide 3 on slide 2. So let's go to the previous in a minute, and then we'll come back to this one. Okay, so what I've noticed is actually that when it comes to paying on those websites, the kids have a problem. They cannot pay independently. What happens is the parents are nagged over and over again to put in the credit card, and the kids cannot have any access to that premium or to that good. The parents, in this case, usually just give a response to 2 out of 10 requests for the kid. And that way the merchants lose a very high potential conversion rate. Okay, you can go on to the next slide, Sramana, please. Okay, what KidCash does actually, KidCash allows the parents to open an account for the kid, 1 or more, and put in an allowance one time only for the kids, a monthly or weekly allowance, and by that, give them a prepaid account, prepaid spending account.
The kids, on the other hand, can go into their account and decide what to do with the money. They can either spend it, save it, or even donate it. And they can do that completely independently, almost completely independently, and very responsibly. The merchants, on the third hand, all they have to do is just put a widget of Pay with Kid Cash with a very simple API, apply to PayPal and the credit card, and they can gain and use segments of users. And of course, increase the conversion. We find opportunity today is very, very ideal because the market of allowance and gift is emerging and is very, very, very strong today. We find with the adults that they go and do banking online very simply. They go and deposit money online. They check out the statements, the monthly statements, and they also make deposits. Okay, no problem. The market that we approach, the market size we approach, of course, is we focus on digital goods, virtual goods, and gaming, which in 2011 you can see the figures. 2012, it will be 50% bigger than this. The Americans give about $10 a week in average to their kids, and we're talking about 45 million kids in the U.S. alone between 5 and 16. Next slide, please. Our go-to-market strategy is based completely on B2B, to C. We approach three main businesses. One is merchants, the other is payment companies, and the last one is financial institutions. In North America, we have the advantage of two more, which is one is the formal education system, since we are educational too, and we have an educational system in KidCash, and we have nonprofits that also have millions of kids, where those nonprofits again approach a very athletic problem, which is financial education in a very young age. Next,
now, how much of this have you validated? Which segments have you talked to merchants? Have you talked to payment companies? Have you talked to financial institutions? Where have you done your validation work so far?
Okay, actually, right now we're in invitation-only mode, and we're testing the product with friends and family, and with people we trust since it's in our financial system. And at the moment, we've begun sales about a month ago. We have right now 21 merchants that are working with us, which in total have about 31 million users in total.
Okay. You have a good starting.
We do have.
That's good.
Yeah, thank you. And we're counting, of course, first of all, on the conversion from those sites. The sites that virtual words that get about 2 million kids every day. If I take into consideration that I get only 0.05% of those kids, I have 1,000 new registers every day. About the financial institutions, it's a very interesting question. We got approached by a North American bank and also from a European one. And so we're trying to do user acquisitions by, really, really huge user acquisitions from those institutions. Okay. So actually, we put them into the strategy once we were approached by them.
Okay.
Okay, so like I said, currently we're in invitation-only mode. We're already in sales process, and we are, timeout. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. Right. Okay. Right, you can start with the question.
Anything else you want to ask him?
Yes, I do. I think one of the, this is more, not a question, it's more a comment that you're going to have to sort through that I see here, is that the people that you need to reach are the parents. The merchants that you're working with, the ones who have these virtual worlds and so forth, actually have as users the kids. So the people whom you're going to need to are the parents. The people who you have access to are the kids. So there is a bit of a complex process there that you need to work through of how to get to the parents through the kids. And this is something that is going to limit the scalability of the solution unless you come up with something very specific and, critical actually.
It's a good point, but I'm really taking a risk over here, and I'm approaching kids, and I mean on my website, of course, because I'm not approaching kids or either parents in the marketing strategy. But it's very interesting because in all my experiences with kids have brought their parents to purchase anything they wanted. Okay, and I think the people over here will say it, but if a kid wants something, they'll get the parent to do it and buy it if they need to.
Yes, but
now, of course,
the kids it will not be easy for a 5-year-old kid to understand the value of kid cash, right? Think about it. 10-year-old kids, for them to understand what is the value proposition of kids cash and taking that value proposition and explaining it to parents, I think it's an impossible task.
Well, after the parent is inside, of course, so the parent comes in because the kids, of course, okay, there are a few advantages where the parent comes in also by himself, but I understand your question. Okay, we have a few.
You don't have to answer this question right now, but think about this question and whether you need to actually market this to parents. That is a critical success question that you're going to have to address. Homework.
Okay.
We're going to have to move on. Quick question for the judges, Ken?
Yes. How does the Apple Patent Award last week affect you?
You mean the one that they asked the parent for? Well, it's something that we were there, it affects me. We're right now giving an online solution, not a mobile solution, although we do have a mobile solution for in-app purchasing, but we're focused on online, and that's the idea. And Apple isn't.
Thank you very much, Alex. Okay, so we're about to take another deep tech dive. How many software developers are there in the room? Raise your hand. Okay, it's tough to be you. And our next presenter is providing a solution that might help make your life a little bit easier. Welcome, Annie Puff from Production Max.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for selecting me to pitch this evening, and thank you, Sramana, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. My name is Ilan Yaniv, and I'm the CEO of Production Max. I've been a configuration manager in software companies as well as banks and cellular companies. And let me start with a short story. We've been suffering with the company I was working at. We had a customer calling support, reporting a bug. Support was trying to deal to understand what went wrong with this customer, and eventually they called R&D. R&D had a few words with QA, trying to figure out what was sent to this customer. And eventually, after 6 hours of trying to understand what went wrong, we understood that the client using server based in Russian wasn't even tested and shouldn't have been deployed at this customer. So what we're having in this situation, we have a production downtime, cost service impact as well as reputation loss, loss of revenues, loss of labor productivity, and this is happening in every company that has software development. Next slide, please. So we are in the ALM market. ALM stands for Application Lifecycle Management, which is actually the process from requirement definition until the implementation and deployment in production. The ALM market, according to Gartner, is about $1.26 billion, and with a growth rate of over 11% annually. The need we are talking about is actually software development is getting more and more complex. Developers need to fulfill more and more tasks and less time to deliver the product to production. And eventually, no one has the time to invest managing the process, documenting everything in the process, and eventually we see there's a lack of seeing the big picture. There's no end-to-end solution, no transparency to the management. The information, we usually document everything on the process using spreadsheets and textual-based solutions. And there are the suites like Microsoft CSS, there are ClearCase, IBM, we all know about. They are very expensive and require very heavy maintenance, and usually those companies using those products are using 30 to 70% of the capabilities of the product itself. Right? So Production Map is actually an agent-based software platform. We provide visualization of the process, automation eventually, and documentation of the process. Our vision is to become a world-class standard for managing ALM process, and actually want to change this, what you see in the left to the right, a clear workflow of the ALM process. Next slide. Our value proposition. So we're talking about a huge market. Our customers can be ISVs, software developers, but also companies that have software departments and they have production anytime. The need is we're having a downtime problem, service impact, direct and indirect cost. We have a strong definition. We provide the core big picture managing ALM ecosystem, and we capitalize on visualization, automation, and documentation. This is the right time. We're talking about a cloud solution, and we're in the cloud. We focus on the user, and we have a clear M&A path. We already partner with Microsoft, and we want to be partners with other cloud vendors. Next slide, please. Okay, so our strategy is basically we are not competing with Microsoft or IBM or any. We have an agent-based solution. Anyone can contact with our API for visualization. We already have 3 beta sites confirmed without any product yet ready, so it's quite amazing. We have a strategic partnership with Microsoft, and we want also to have a partnership with our cloud solution providers. Next slide. So the strategy is to sell the cloud solution directly to enterprise software. What is the best strategy? The second question is what's the best approach for non-US companies when trying to penetrate US markets and compete with US-based solutions? About going to we want to go to have investments, so we have enough money to marketing. What strategy you think about? What is the best market segment that should we start with? How do you suggest us to build a marketing and sales department in the US?
All right, let me try to answer your questions one by one. Again, though, what I'm going to tell you applies not only to you, but also to the other people who are pitching or listening in the room. Enterprise sales, as I said, is an expensive proposition. So if enterprise is the segment that you're going to go after, then a better idea would be to figure out how to go at it through channel partners. And because building an enterprise sales channel is a very, very expensive proposition. And to figure out where you go in terms of channel partnerships, you're going to need to figure out how do you play the ecosystem in your favor. What other products are you integrating with? What products can you kind of dovetail with into the market opportunities? What gaps are there in the market that you fill in other products that do have channels into the market? So I would, if I were to work with you, I would want to double click down onto the application lifecycle management ecosystem and really understand in depth where are the gaps and how is your solution filling in those gaps, and how can we create a go-to-market strategy that takes advantage of some of the existing players that are already in those accounts, and how can we partner with them to get you into the market. I think I already addressed the approach for a non-US company when trying to penetrate the US market. It is, if you're talking about enterprise, the better approach is to go with channel partners. If you're going after the small business market, online marketing is actually not different between, US companies and non-US companies. You would follow a set of strategies, and we will teach you what those strategies are. I'll talk about all that a little bit later. Now, what VCs do you think you should approach? I don't know yet. I need to understand what is it that you're trying to do, and this could very well be that you need to approach corporates, strategic investors. One thing all of you should be a little bit aware of right now is that the VC market has a bias right now going towards B2C businesses, and to some extent business to small SME kind of businesses. The enterprise sales, the traditional bag-carrying salesperson selling into enterprise, this is a go-to-market model that is not as popular at this moment in the venture capital business. So you're going to have to keep that in mind as you develop your strategy. Best market segment to start with. Again, the answer to this question is vastly dependent on your competitive landscape. So we need to get the competitive landscape in front of us and really get into the depths of what's going on in that competitive landscape, and then make the decision on which segment to go after. Where is the gap? You have to find the gap. Okay, now again, how do you build the marketing and sales department? Again, will depend very much on what segment you go after. Everything depends on competitive positioning, segmentation, and then you define the go-to-market strategy based on the competitive positioning and the segmentation. Okay? I just have a bunch of tips which apply to all of you, not just to the presenter, all of you. Not just to Production Map, it applies to every one of you in the room.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Sramana. Good luck. Can I just ask people in the audience, if you need to leave, that's okay, just don't do it while the companies are up here pitching. We've all been there before, and it's very distracting, so respect each other out of that. You can leave when I'm talking, that's fine, I won't get offended. All right, moving along, we have our next female presenter, Edwalita Katagostin. Hi, Sramana.
Hi, Katya.
Good morning. Good evening to you all. My name is Katya Dalston, and I'm an entrepreneur with 18 years of entrepreneurial experience, and 11 years of which I've been doing something in the field of technology and innovation. So, no, please go back. Thank you. And what I'm going to present Edwalita today, and what I want, this is my second startup, and in this startup, I wanted to bring real value to the community I think I attribute myself to. So we as business people, business managers, and executives, what we really want, we want to make good business decisions, and in order to do that, we want to base and support our business decisions with the most relevant and reliable data. But let's face it, only the big corporations and big companies, they really have access to this very expensive information and expensive consulting services. So most of us, we use web in order to do our business information research, but with information growing exponentially and a number of websites and information websites that is growing each day, no.
You need to speed up a bit. So there's a hint when I'm asking you to speed up, I'm asking you to speed up.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. So what we're really doing, we give the business people the solution to answer their very exact business questions. So if you are really interested to know the Facebook user growth in APAC countries, all you need to do is just enter our website, and we'll do the work for you. We'll turn to reliable information sites, and we'll extract that information for you. We'll do data fusion, and in the end, we'll present it to you in a very exact way. And this is the example of our visualized business research. This is our end product, VBR, Visualized Business Research. You can do many things around this VBR. You can do the sources we use in order to create this VBR for you. You can post your review. You can view other VBRs that people in the same area created also using our system. And we also create specially for you the VBRs related to the topic that you are researching. So we can go to our next slide. Yes, our customer segmentation. Whom are we serving? The first layer of our customers are, of course, business customers, those who set business strategy in the company. They, depending on the company size and the business size, can be either a business owner or C-level executive or business development manager, and the investors that are researching their new investment opportunities. The second layer are the services and the companies and people who are serving the first layer. So these are experts. You can read, you can go through the list of the customers. And the third one is the one that I like most of all. These are data and stat lovers. These are experts that really use information to investigate it and provide business insights. We can go to the next slide, please. So what is our real value proposition? We are giving the affordable solution. We are using software as service and on a freemium basis. So, okay. And the most important thing out of all the things that I mentioned is the crowd wisdom. We give you the opportunity to meet the like-minded business users and experts that can review your visualized business research, the area that you are researching right now, and you can add information sources and things like that, and you can use our platform as a tool for personal professional promotion, as like in Foursquare, for example. You, as the more you use this system, the more credits you get, and you can be promoted to be as an expert, and people will start addressing you as an expert. Next slide, please. And our go-to-market, we are alpha. We are launching in 2 weeks from today, and we have a list of alpha partners. And for our, my time is out. And okay, if you have any questions, you can ask. You have any questions for Sramana? Yes. Yes, I do questions for Sramana. I know the market numbers for this area, like market research area is about $31 billion. And so I know the top-down numbers, but how do I measure the market from the bottom-up model? Can you address that?
Yes, so first and foremost, you cannot do any bottom-up analysis without doing segmentation. And what you have here in customer segmentation is everybody and their mother who could possibly be using your product. That's not segmentation, right? That's everybody who could consider using your product. What segment are you building the product for? The same product is not going to be used by, and you cannot go to market to all these C-level executives and businesses. The sales method and the sales process for them is very different from bloggers, and what they're willing to pay is very different. Bloggers are willing to pay almost nothing, whereas the C-level executives are willing to pay a lot.
We are building, I didn't have time, but I can answer that. We are building our product exactly for each segment, And we are starting with
segment. You have to build product for one segment. As a small company, you can only cater to one segment right now. You cannot build 5 different products. You have to build one product.
That's true. That's true. But if you go to our go-to-market strategy, our alpha product, I didn't mention it in the slide, but our alpha product, we are targeting, let's say, a very basic user, and we're going to address them. These are students, and these are small research companies with very specific.
Wrong strategy. First and foremost, this is not a go-to-market strategy. Alpha launch, beta launch, and commercial launch, that is not a go-to-market strategy. There's a very specific method of how to develop a go-to-market strategy that is a step-by-step process. I'll talk about all that a bit later. But you need to learn what a go-to-market strategy is. This is not a go-to-market strategy. And based on what you just said, marketing to students, marketing this product to students, I don't think that is the right segment either. There are lots of strategic errors in the way you're going about this business right now. There's probably something of value in this business, but you need to, the way I think about companies and products and startups is it's a raw piece of rock, right? Like Michelangelo had a piece of stone to bring David out of. You're going to need to sculpt your David out of that rock. And right now it's kind of this coarse rock, coarse stone out there. And you need to apply methodology to bring that out.
Sounds like there's a lot of insight that Katya will be able to gain from your course, Sramana. We need to move on. Quick question from the judges, anyone? Okay, thank you very much, Katya, and thank you, Sramana, for the insight. Okay, we're on our home stretch, and next up, who here has ever downloaded a free program and then had to download another one because you keep running out of your free trial? Well, again, you poor software developers, it's even worse on you. And our next speaker, like in stereo, Gil Cadiz has a solution for you. Gil, thank you.
Well, hello, everybody. Hi, good morning, Sramana. Thank you, Microsoft, for hosting us. My name is Gil Cadiz, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Licensario. The sexy guy with the T-shirt of Licensario over here is my co-founder and the CTO of Licensario. And I will start with a question for I just want the previous slide as well. Thanks. I will start with a question for the audience, and I will use Microsoft as an example throughout the presentation, which is kind of a bad thing because Donna said it's kind of putting out the villains, but hopefully, I'm not saying that Microsoft is the villain, it's just our case for this presentation. So how many of you are willing to download, thinking about software prices today, how many of you are willing to download Microsoft Office for $200? Not so many hands, Sramana, I must admit. And I will put it differently right now. How many of you are willing to pay for Microsoft Office on a usage basis, say $3 a month or something like that? Okay, so much more hands. That's a really helpful audience out there. So we can go to the next slide. Okay, so when we're speaking about software consumption these days, where the analogy we like to think about is milk. So you got 2 ways of purchasing milk. So one of them is purchasing a cow, which no one does because it's really expensive, and you get a lot of features that you don't need, like meat or leather or things like that. So you just want to buy a milk carton, which is the common way of buying milk these days. So when you're buying the software these days, you get a cow, and you get a lot of features that you don't need, and you pay a lot of money for them. So say you're a user and you want to just create a presentation, a slideshow for your mama's 60th birthday, and you need the PowerPoint. So let's go to the next slide. So you need just PowerPoint, so it's useless for you to just buy all the Office suite and pay a lot of money up front. So what License are offering is pretty much a different approach. So in our case, we're offering to sell the milk and not the cow. So what I mean by that is that the experience with License is a different experience. Say the user wants the PowerPoint. So you download the Microsoft Office, just start using it, and then when the trial version expires, instead of getting a pop-up that says that the licensing period is over and just direct into the website to buy a version, our pop-up will rise, and the user will just get the best deals for PowerPoint out there. So in this example, the user is offered to rent PowerPoint for a week, or he can rent PowerPoint and SlideShare for a month. SlideShare is a solution that enables users to share presentations online. It's in a SaaS model. It's cloud-based model. So what you can see that License gives software publishers the ability to cooperate and sell software in joint licensing that makes sense. Another thing, well, if you go back just for a second, another thing to point out here that we know the user and we offer him one account for purchasing software. So this is kind of a prepaid account, like the kids cash, but this one is more for an adult. For adults, wow, not the adults you're thinking about, but this can be a great market for us as well. But we haven't thought about it yet. So yeah, we can go to the next slide. There's no need for serial keys, and there's no need for giving the payment credentials for each software publisher. You just have one account for all the software content you need. And the billing is also integrated into our solution. You don't need to integrate with PayPal, credit cards, merchant accounts, payment gateways, whatever. Just forget about it. We will handle everything for you. And like I said, we offer a new payment method, which is the Licensario account. So we can go to the next slide. Okay, so I've got 1 minute. Okay, so we want to be a truly cross-platform. We want to be able to support desktop, mobile, and websites and web solutions. That again, this slide, the previous slide. Previous slide, please. Thanks. Our integration is that simple. It's just one line of code for all of the platforms. You get license across platforms with just one line of code per license feature. Okay, so we can go to the next slide. Okay, so how are we going to make money out of it? Well, we charge the payment system fee and the Licensario fee, which is between 1 to 10% out of the completed transaction. And during the beta period, we won't charge at all. So all of the developers out there, they can just get all the benefits for free. And our immediate market are startups and small businesses. So all the startups here in the crowd, you should contact us, and we will show you how we can improve your business model, and you can just go wild with it. Okay, that's it.
Sramana, over to you. Thank you very much, Shakir.
So, Gil, here my first comments, and this is as I've now gone through 9 presentations, and I've asked all of you probably for competitive analysis. Who is the competition? I know at least 2 companies that are already in this space. One is the one that we use for 1 million by 1 million called Chargify. There's another company that we are working with called Plymouth. These are companies that are directly in your competitive sweet spot. And they both cater to small companies, small startups. And I believe there are others. I know a lot of companies that are going after this space. So first and foremost, you need to ask yourself, what is the justification of getting into a market that actually has several players that are actually seeing a lot of traction? Plymouth has 7,000 customers. It's an Israeli entrepreneur.
Yeah, they are, but they're not a competition.
What have you done in terms of competitive analysis?
Yeah. So, this slide is missing, but I'll explain why Chargify and Plymouth and Braintree and Safi and whatever are not a direct competition. All they do is handle billing. That's all. We give the whole SaaS cycle, which is registration, login, resource tracking, everything you need in order to create a SaaS business. We give it to you, and on every platform. One other thing is that we have one account.
That's not true. Chargify handles everything.
No, they're not. They're just handling the billing. They just handle the billing part. Just look at the integration part of Chargify, and you know exactly what they're doing. You don't know. You know just if the user paid or not. You don't know much more than that, and that's what we're doing. And we give the publishers a marketing tool that they can cooperate and sell features together, like the example of PowerPoint and SlideShare. And much more than that, we have the one account, which gives kind of like an app store buying experience on all platforms. So.
And that is with whether merchants are willing to do that across multiple. Anyway, so I think you're being pushed to move on. So I'm happy to continue this dialogue with you offline, but be careful about where you're positioning this and the assumption that you're making, especially this assumption that users are going to be using your platform to buy products from various different ISVs. I'm not sure if that assumption is validated.
Okay.
Okay. Any quick questions from the lecturers? Okay, thank you very much. And last but not least, for something completely different, we have Deb Rosen with not Rotary View. Thank you very much.
Hi, everybody. I know that I'm the last speaker, and I've been given 5 minutes. I'll try to do it in 4 so we can get home earlier. All right. So my name is Jeff Rotem. Sitting in the cloud is Gal Rotem, my cousin and my partner. We're a family of entrepreneurs. It's in our blood. You can move to the next slide, please. In 1985, both of our fathers have created the first Palm Pilot, and this was back when computers looked like this. So they were a little bit ahead of their time, and ever since I know how to value time to market and spot a great opportunity when I see it. And about a year ago, at the family dinner, I came to Gal and told him about a recent exit that I did, and he also wanted to brag off about his invention, and he showed me this rotating object. And the minute I saw it, I knew that we had a business going on, and ever since we've been working on it, and this is what we have achieved. If you can move to the next slide, please. Okay, so this is the villain, and e-commerce today are showing their objects. Most of the websites, there's a small pictures. You can see it from the front, you can see it from the side of the object that is being sold, and e-commerce needs today to differentiate themselves. We've seen Adobe research that says that if you show your products on the e-commerce site in 360, you can increase your e-commerce sales by 15 to 50% more than if you show it in 2D. So we put our goal to turn shoppers into buyers, and this is how we do it. If you can move to the next slide, please. We have created a player. With our player, you can interact with the objects and see it from all different angles, and to have a better decision-making tool when you're shopping for something. Our player also has a nice feature, which is our player is a floating sale point. You can, out of your destination of your destination site, if someone presses, let's say, the Facebook, they can share it on their page, and someone else can share it on their page, and you have all your products on the web. And the products are linked back to your checkout page, and if anyone presses the checkout button, then it goes back to your checkout, and you can buy your products directly. If you can move to the next slide, please. Our technology advantage and what makes us different, because there are 360 today. We are the only web platform that you can upload easily your products to the web. All you need to do is take your object. You need to snap as it turns around, snap. And then you simply upload it to our website, to our server, and we give you an embed code which you can easily implement in your website or in your, wherever you want to implement it, and increase your online sales. Another cool feature that we have developed, and it's a patented feature that is going to launch next week, is the 3D. We are hoping to do to e-commerce what Avatar did to cinema, and soon it will happen. Next cool feature that we, not next slide, next feature. If you can go, thank you very much. The background cleaner. When you take pictures, in 360 photography, you have to take many, many, many pictures, and you have to erase the background. This was a task that took us a lot of time and money. So we've created a tool that with the click of a button, you can erase the entire background of all the 6 points, and it's really easy and fast-free. And our loader is, we have a zero waiting time loader. We know that people don't have time when they are going into e-commerce website, and our loader, when you click it, you can start interacting with the object. Next slide, please. It's a $680 billion market, growing 20% a year, and we want to be the 360 choice for everyone. And we know that there will be a time when people look back and say they can't remember how it was without rotary view. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Our question is, we have just launched about at the beginning of February, and we want to know about our business opportunities. We have 2 options. We can give our services for free, and then afterwards, with the checkout button that I talked about, we can do revenue share with our customers, or we can charge monthly fees as we do now, which is $4.90 a month, because we want to be very affordable. What do you think is the best option for us?
So as far as, I don't like freemium business models. Part of it is because it makes you dependent on investors. You cannot sustain a free user base for an extended period of time without any monetization model. So I would like you to keep that in mind as you develop your strategy, and come up with a payment. You can let people use it for free for a little while, but very soon you need to have a migration path to paid users very quickly. The business model of the business that you're proposing is not transaction fee. People are not going to share a percentage of transaction with you. This is going to be a software as a service subscription kind of business model. I don't think transaction fee business model will work here. Now, the thing that you need to keep in mind, though, is who is the customer? Which customer are you going after? Because the e-commerce market has multiple segments, right? Your market is not the $680 billion market. The market is the providers of software and technology to this $680 billion market. The people, to the vendors who cater to the $680 billion market. So, and in there are multiple segments. There are the players who sell enterprise e-commerce system. Then there are the players who sell the small business e-commerce system. There are companies like Volusion, BigCommerce, Moonfruit. There are all sorts of small companies that are catering to the small business market. And there are the large system company. Where do you want to go? And the strategies are, again, different. And the partners are different. You have to make those choices, and you have to make those choices based on comparative analysis.
Okay.
In all fairness, Sramana, I have to say, on the list of suggested guidelines, there was no competitive analysis. So we were good kids and didn't put a slide up about that. So I do promise that all the companies had a slide in about competitive analysis.
Donna, there's two gaps that I'm seeing over and over again across the 10 presentations: segmentation, competitive analysis. And those two are very dependent on each other. They kind of play off each other, and both of those are gaps in most of the presentations we've seen today. So all of you need to tighten up your competitive positioning, tighten up your segmentation.
Okay, great. Do we have any questions from the judges to Rotary View? Okay, yes, Saki.
We're three partners, and we have another programmer, and we do outsourcing for all actions that we need. We're low budget, and we're before funding.
The technical someone that owns the technical assets for your solution?
Yeah, we have some of the technology is patented, and we would have more, but we don't have the money for the patents at the moment.
Anyone else?
Yes, anyone.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Round of applause. Okay, wow, what a very interesting group. Would you agree, Sramana? So we're now going to kick the judges out of here. Go deliberate. You have a tough task ahead of you. And I'd like to hand the mic over to Sramana, who is going to tell us about her Million by Million program and why it's such a great opportunity for everyone sitting in this room and anyone else you might know. So Sramana, take it away.
All right, so you know what you saw today in these discussions is what we call roundtables. You know, it's a roundtable discussion discussing your business. And we do these roundtables every week on a regular basis, except sometimes we do it actually in person. Like in this month, I'm going to be doing some in-person roundtables on my trip to India. So other than that, most Thursdays, we have these roundtable feedback sessions available to any entrepreneur anywhere in the world. And you can just join into a WebEx session and come get some feedback from me on your business. So if you like this method, this kind of mechanics, this format, please help us spread the word around, because the mission of 1 million by 1 million is to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million in annual revenue by 2020. And the only way that will happen is if we can find 1 million serious entrepreneurs who have the resilience and the work ethic and the mettle to make successful businesses happen. It's really difficult to build successful businesses. So we are looking for serious entrepreneurs, so please help us spread the word. And I'll give you a quick summary of how you can use 1 million by 1 million and all the resources that we've brought together for you. So the website is 1m1m.sramanamitra.com. The first level of absolutely, completely, totally free resource is our blog, where we do case studies and trend analysis. So a lot of what we do is by inviting experienced, successful entrepreneurs and thought leaders in the industry to come and share their knowledge with you, our readers. And the blog has, every year we develop at least 100 case studies, if not more. So we've been doing this since 2005. Now we have over 500 such case studies, all available for free on the blog. And you're very welcome to use them to learn. The whole point of this is to make the tribal knowledge of Silicon Valley and of knowledge that's sitting inside the heads of successful entrepreneurs available to you freely. The next level of resource is the Entrepreneur Journeys book series. There are 4 volumes of Entrepreneur Journeys that have been published so far, and each of them consists of 12 to 16 of these case studies with synthesis and lessons, the analysis and synthesis, that is my analysis and my synthesis. So the first volume is a kind of introductory volume with 12 case studies. We have 2 volumes that are very critical to the 1 million by 1 million methodology. Bootstrapping, Weapon of Mass Reconstruction is Entrepreneur Journeys Volume 2, and Positioning, How to Test, Validate, and Bring Your Product to Market. Positioning is a very, very critical piece of our methodology. The only way you can do a capital efficient startup and really hit your milestones within the resources that you have is by positioning your company very strictly and very precisely. So why was I bugging all of you today about your segmentation, about your competitive positioning, about all the nuances of business model, pricing model, everything that are derived out of those positioning elements, because that is one of the most powerful tools of building businesses. You have to get that right. Anyway, so those books are...
Can I ask you a question about what you're saying now? Because I often get the question from younger entrepreneurs. Should they go out and hire somebody to do a business plan for them and spend the dollars, or what are the resources to do it themselves?
Absolutely
So please.
Strictly not. You need to understand your positioning yourself, and then we can help you. So I'm going to take you through. Consultants charge a lot of money for this kind of work. I did 10 years of strategy consulting after doing 3 startups of my own, and I made probably the maximum amount of my consulting money in the field of positioning. And I've charged $5,000 a day for doing this kind of work. So this is good, world-class positioning expertise is very, very expensive. But what I'm trying to do, and Arlene alluded to this earlier, is that to give you access to this kind of world-class positioning expertise through the 1 Million by 1 Million program, that is one of our core value propositions. So as I said, we have roundtables so you can work with us every week, and these are free. But if you are going into the next level of resources, I will walk you through what we offer in the premium program for a $1,000 annual membership fee, the kinds of resources we make available to you, and that is something that is going to so cut down your path to getting to a positioned company as opposed to an unpositioned company. The success probability of a positioned company versus an unpositioned company is vastly different. Donna, did you have a question?
Yes.
Are you trying to?
No, I just want to point out that Arlene is absolutely wonderful about updating everyone every time there's an opportunity to join one of Sramana's roundtables. So first of all, thank you, Arlene, for putting this together and for making this amazing resource available. So anybody that has not signed up for Israel Network, Israel Startup Network meetup page, or check it out. There's a lot of things happening. There's a lot of great events that Arlene and Sramana make available to you. So carry on, Sramana.
Yep. So definitely make it a point to start attending the free roundtables, and they're there. There's a resource that you learn a lot from just by listening. I mean, today's session gave you some nuggets to go back. Whether you presented, whether you pitched or not, you still learned from listening to other people. So it's a case study based teaching methodology. You learn by listening to other people's pitches and so forth. Now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we offer in the premium program, that is the membership program. We have an extensive methodology for the 1 Million by 1 Million program, and it's a methodology that is capital efficient startups, bootstrap capital efficient startups, because we come at this problem of making entrepreneurship education and incubation scalable with the knowledge that over 99% of entrepreneurs who go out to raise money get rejected. And we have studied thoroughly what are the reasons why they get rejected, and we want you to fully take advantage of the methodology so that you do not fall into one of those cracks. It is not necessary for you to repeat the same mistake that have been repeated by entrepreneurs for 20 years. It is not necessary. It is a perfectly avoidable situation. So please avoid making the same mistakes that thousands of entrepreneurs or millions of entrepreneurs are making out there. So we have how do we teach that is through a curriculum. It's a video lectures and case studies based curriculum. We also, as Arlene pointed out earlier, we also do a lot of business development. We make connections with channel partners. We make connections with customers where we have relationships, and we have private versions, members-only versions of these roundtables. At the roundtable you experienced today, we have private versions of that. And the reason those roundtables are actually more intense and more productive sessions somehow is because you have the curriculum to study and then come to the roundtable armed with the knowledge that you gather in the curriculum. In addition, within the curriculum also you can ask questions. We have discussion areas for every single module of the curriculum. You can ask questions there. So that's how we're making the whole strategy consulting piece accessible, world-class management consulting accessible to the smallest entrepreneurs in the world who do not have the budget to afford $5,000 a day consultants. We are making that available to you by packaging it up in the form of curriculum and roundtables. So then we have the business development, customer introductions, channel partner introductions, and where appropriate, we introduce you to financiers, investors, when you are ready.
Only when you're ready.
Only when you're ready. And this is a very important point. We don't want you to get gratuitously rejected.
I agree. So many times people I'm working with are like, well, can you introduce me to investors? And I say, not until your story's straight. You don't want to just get out there and pitch to people if you haven't done your homework and you're not ready because you end up burning bridges, right?
So if you go to our website, this is the 1 Million by 1 Million website, there is a self-assessment. It's a 9-point self-assessment. And I recommend every single one of you to go through this self-assessment. And if you are part of the premium program, every single self-assessment point has video lectures and case studies attached to them. These are curriculum modules. So those you can access if you're a premium member wherever you have gaps. Like somebody asked me the question today, I think Kadia asked me the question about bottom-up TAM analysis. We have a whole module teaching you how to do bottom-up TAM analysis. It is not something I can teach you in 2 seconds, but we have a full, 20-minute module explaining to you exactly how to go about it and what are the repercussions of bottom-up TAM analysis. So those are some of the highlights of the program. You can go to the site. There's on the top right corner, you have premium program and FAQ, what to expect from the premium program. It explains in a lot of detail what you can expect. Our methodology, as I said, is lean, capital efficient, bootstrap startups. The curriculum has 7 core modules, and if you join the program, I would like you to do all 7 core modules: bootstrapping, positioning, market sizing, customer validation, financing, customer acquisition, and team building. The customer acquisition strategy is a thorough training on go-to-market strategy. So those of you who have gaps in your learning about how to develop a go-to-market strategy, this is a module that will plug those gaps, and then we'll work together to develop which pieces of that apply to you and how can you go to markets based on your specific business. Then we have the elective modules, which are aligned with the trends of the industry. We see a lot of Web 3.0 and e-commerce businesses. So web businesses are a big trend. There are going to be 5 billion businesses on the internet by 2020. So depending on which market, sitting in Israel has always been very good at building technology and then taking that technology out to different markets, especially the American market. But today, you may also want to look at other markets. The emerging markets are very attractive, whether you market to the Indian market, whether you market to the Chinese market, the Latin American market, the opportunities are huge, especially in web businesses. Cloud computing and solutions is a very active area of entrepreneurship. Mobile and social apps, healthcare IT, online education, these are all very, very significant areas of entrepreneurship. And outsourcing and consulting continues to be an area where we see a lot of activity. So we have over 100 hours of curriculum, and we want you to take advantage of these case studies and video lectures to compress your learning. I started as a first-time entrepreneur in 1994. Nothing like this was available. If it were available, there are lots of mistakes I could have avoided, and it would have made my journey a lot faster and a lot crisper. It wasn't available. Here's a message from a guy who presented at one of our roundtables, and he was writing me on my Facebook page saying, thanks, Sramana, I wish I had access to something like 1 million by 1 million when I had raised money. He raised money 3 years back, a substantial amount of angel money, and then he ran through all that money by doing the wrong things in the wrong order. This is a very common, very, very common theme in entrepreneurship. Infant entrepreneur mortality.
It's not just getting the funding, it's allocating it wisely once you've got the funding.
Always the resources are going to be limited, whether it's your own money, whether it's angel money, whether it's seed capital, first round financing, your resources are going to be finite, so you have to make sure that you do the right things in the right order and don't go out of business. Infant entrepreneur mortality is a very, very, common problem. In America, 600,000 companies go out of business every year. That's a very large number. Nobody else tracks these numbers, so we don't even know who else, who else has what numbers. I don't know the numbers for China. I don't know the numbers for Israel. But these are very, the infant entrepreneur mortality number in the US is very high. And if you can extrapolate from that, it's basically 10% of entrepreneurs go out of business every year. All right, so that's kind of what I would be happy to take questions from the room.
Yes. Anybody have any questions for Sramana? Don't be shy. They're missing their caffeine rush right now. Yes, what's your name? Are you waiting to answer 5 minutes? So you don't have a question? Okay. Well, actually, we're waiting on the judges still. Any questions to Sramana, either about the program, or you can take this opportunity to pose a question about your startup? Yes. Okay, so Sramana, the question is, how can a startup actually know that they are ready for funding?
That is exactly what the self-assessment is about. You can start there with the self-assessment, and that's something we help you understand in the program. That is one of the
self-assessment tools.
One of the big things that we do is to prepare you for funding and to plug the gaps of where you're going to fall through the crack.
Okay, good. Yes, good.
Where you see the trends in mobile going, said about B2C in the B2C community, maybe you could give a little explanation on somewhere you see being in the valley, where you see the financial trends and where the money is going, where you see it going in the next 6 months.
Sramana, did you hear that?
No, I need to repeat it.
Where you see the money going in the valley in the realm of mobile, and you mentioned that B2C was right now the popular destination for the funding. So can you talk a little bit more about the trends that you see with funding, especially in mobile?
So one of the trends I want to bring to your attention as far as B2C funding is concerned is that only businesses with traction get funded. So do not expect that you come up with a concept and you can fund a concept. Yes, there's interest in B2C funding, but the reality of B2C funding is that you're going to have to come with traction. If you go to the 1 Million by 1 Million YouTube channel, there are actually a series of cartoons on this. We've just released a bunch of cartoons where entrepreneurs have these misconceptions that they can just walk in with a PowerPoint or concept presentation and get checks written. This does not happen. It just does not happen.
So the whole idea of the bubble happening valley where they're just standing in the street handing out buckets of money to startups is a myth, you're saying?
That stopped just about 1999.
So currently, actually, there's a lot of buzz that even with the economy being in a double-dip recession in the States, that still there is funding and a lot of activity happening in the valley. What do you have to say about that? Clear up the picture for us over here on the other side.
You're looking for trends of what segments, what sectors of mobile B2C? Is that the question?
Yeah, the question was mainly around mobile, but if you want to continue that to, we see trends in social and in web and anything that is hot right now when it comes to funding and what's happening there.
So areas that have long been dormant that currently are actually receiving some TLC, 10 to 11 care, are healthcare IT and online education, whether it's education using social media, education using mobile apps and so forth. iPad apps are becoming a big area of imparting education. Textbooks are turning into iPad apps. If you follow Khan Academy, for instance, in the online education world, they just released their iPad application. So the whole education industry is really growing up to the power of mobile apps, the tablet apps and cell phone apps. So that's a trend that you can do interesting things with. Healthcare IT has been a very powerful trend. If you look at companies like Athena Health, for instance, these guys have built a massive public company using the software as a service trend within the cloud computing trend within the healthcare IT market. So what I would point you to is actually, let's go back to the slide about the elective modules in 1 Million by 1 Million. This is exactly what we try to do there, is bring to your attention different trends and how these trends are being developed, how the businesses are being developed that are the success stories or the flagship ventures of those trends. And we have, as I said, hundreds of case studies. Gaming is very big, Gaming is a very precise business. You know, gaming is something that there are mechanics of making a game successful, and you have to follow some of those mechanics, and you know, there are nuances and lessons to learn from people who have built successful gaming businesses, both on mobile and on social. Gaming is definitely a big trend.
So I think I've learned two things from listening to you tonight that I want to just really stress to the audience. There was a lot more than two, but the things that really stood out to me were, one, really get your segmentation clear. Don't be spreading yourself all over and saying, well, my customer base is this and this and this and this and this and this, because that's a no-brainer. Be very clear about your segment and how you're going to get to them. And also, learn from the mistakes of others. Don't make the same mistake. If there's the resources to actually do the reading and do the learning of what other people have done and not to do, save yourself the money, time, and frustration of doing it that way. That's what leaps out to me.
Yep, I think that's a good crystallization. I think my stress for you all would be on the core curriculum elements. Those 7 points you have to get right. You know what's on your screen right now: bootstrapping, positioning, market sizing, customer validation, customer acquisition and team building, and financing piece. The financing piece is optional. You can build businesses without raising any outside capital, and that's fine. But the other pieces, you have to get those pieces right, and there are very definitive strategies in each of those elements.
Okay, great. Any other questions for Sramana? Yes.
Sramana mentioned that she was visiting India, and did she notice any interesting Indian startups that are needed to India?
Okay, well, we have a question about the Indian startup scene. You mentioned you had visited there. Any interesting startups and trends you've seen in India?
India is very active as a startup scene right now. And one of the areas where I see a ton of activity in India is in the B2B software as a service businesses catering to the small business market. And this is the global small business market. One of our companies has raised money from Accel Partners, and this company is called Freshdesk. These guys do customer service as a software as a service solution. So it's a very rock bottom pricing on software as a service customer service solution. They compete with a company called Zendesk, and in the very high end of that market is right now. So these are, and Salesforce.com has acquired Assistly as one of the companies also in that competitive space, but they are going after the very bottom of that market.
Okay.
Anna, I'm going to...
Good news. The judges are back, so we want to thank you very much for this very informative session and for being here with us and all your wonderful input to these teams. And I'm sure you're as curious as I am to know who the winners are.
Are we ready to announce?
We'll be joining this great program that we just heard about. So I'm going to invite Raya back to the stage to announce the winners. Hi, thank you very much, Sramana, for the exciting session. Thank you to all the presenters. Thank you to all the audience. I think it was very nice and very interesting, and we were just discussing outside how sharp and right to the point were all your comments, Sramana. So I think that everybody benefits from your experience. We can really feel your vast experience in your work with startups. So thank you, everybody. And the winners are, and it's in the random order, because it's, the prize is 1 year scholarship for workers with Sramana program. The first one is Evento. You have here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The second one is Market. Congratulations. Thank you. And the third one is Production Next.
Congratulations, guys. We look forward to working with you in the program.
All right.
Guys, there are sandwiches, refreshments outside, time for networking, so please help yourself. Thank you. So just before you guys go out and grab food, another big thank you to Raya and to Gilad and to Sophie for the wonderful organization of this. I'm Lynn, Ken, and Donna. Thank you very much, and thank you, Arlene and Ken, for letting me be part of this. We'll see you guys next time.
היו לכם שאלות?
Hey, Sramana, how are you? It was great. Thank you very, very much. Oh, we wanted to ask the reporter from one of the major visitors in Israel is here, and we would like to do a small session with you. Are you available now?
Sramana, are you still there? Off the line. I'll have to call you back.
Maureen?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, hold on a second. 1 second.
Okay, great.